And here again we are with Tony talking about a little bit. We're going to start off with a little bit about math, and it's going to introduce the topic through this other roundabout way. So go ahead and take it away, Tony.
Hey, how you doing, Chris? I hope you're okay. Hey, listen, we wanted to talk today about the Carmelo Anthony stabbing and its overall implications for society. And well, Chris here, he's going back to school. He's taking a lot of math, and
True.
I was telling a story about math is beautiful because math 2 plus 2 is 4, whether or not the teacher is a racist, a black hating bigot or not. So when I was in a calculus class once, there was a black woman there. I may have told this story again, but I'll retell it. I don't
That's
care. And
fine. We can keep telling stories. Yeah,
yeah, and
it relates.
so I had the most forgiving math teacher I ever had. Sometimes these guys would literally be writing on the board with one hand and erasing right after it with another. They didn't give a damn if you got it. And this teacher, he was Jaime Escalante from Stand and Deliver. He was from a Hispanic dude. This was in San Antonio at UTSA. And I mean, if you didn't understand something that went wrong on a 4 blackboard problem, and it was over on blackboard 1, well, Mr. Scott, you look confused. What is the problem? Well, you lost me way back over here. He would go back and explain every step in the problem again, willingly and lovingly. He loved math. He was like, math was his thing. And he always just say, Mr. Scott, you have to get emotional about these problems, get involved, be connected, and it really helped when you treat it like a game and it's fun, and you have a study group and everybody's involved, and yay, math is great. I love math. Well, there was this black woman in the class, and man, she was just always had that surly black woman attitude. And one day she asks him, well, what happens when you do everything right and you get the wrong answer? Which is really a subset for that, the black, how blacks see their experience in our culture.
Yeah.
We're doing everything right, and we still getting it wrong. We
Right.
still get discriminated against. We still getting beat down. We don't have the car. We don't have the home. We don't have all. And so Mr.
Yeah.
Castillo, he answers logically and says, well, if you perform the correct steps in the correct order of operation and you do not make any errors, you will arrive at the correct answer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's not the question she was asking, and that's what we were discussing right before the show. It's
Right.
like she was asking a different question. It's like, why these set of rules? Why this set of rules, and why do we have to follow them? It's like, well, we've discovered that all models are bad. This is what she wanted to hear. All models are wrong, but some are useful, right? Some are useful, and the model that we're learning in this class is useful for other things in the future if you want to get involved with doing things that are based on this mathematical formula. We just have found a way through thousands of years that this is a way to do it. It's like a game, right? If you want to play checkers, you play checkers. You want to play chess, you play chess. But if you want to play chess chess with checkers rules where you can jump, the pawn can jump everything and you can keep jumping across the board, well, that's a different game, right? That's a whole different game. There's nothing wrong with that game. It's just a different game. Like, if you want to play basketball, you can play basketball, but you bring donkeys on the field, that's donkey basketball. It's a whole other game. And a lot of people don't like to play that one. They want to play this other one. So I think that was the question she was asking, but most math teachers don't understand. They're answering the surface level question, and she was asking this deeper level question. It's like, why is my life screwed up if this is the rules, right? That it's like, why are things still messed up if these are the rules? Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, well, I think that's very close. Yeah, because it was kind of like like I said, the black experience is like, well, I'm following all the rules. Why aren't I getting it right?
Right.
And so he says this to her, and she says exactly that. She goes, well, what happens when you do all that, when you do all the right steps in the right order, and you still get it wrong?
Mm-hmm.
and and she was pissed off.
Yeah.
And so I leaned to my buddy and I whispered to him, she got a bad attitude. I do not have a bad attitude.
You kind of do a little bit. You're complaining about the chess rules, which I understand. But she was complaining about this other substrate, right?
Well,
This other subtext. That was her mindset. It wasn't had nothing to do with this math class. Had to do with, like, why is my life suck if this is math?
it's a microcosm of this issue. Like, like what, like I don't really, what it's saying is I don't like the rules and I'm tired of trying, and math is against me and
Right.
society's against me.
Right.
I kind of wanted to talk about the Carmelo Anthony case.
Yeah.
today, and that is kind of the thing. They're saying like we don't like these rules and we're tired of following them, and we've been trying to follow the rules and we just keep getting it wrong. Why is it that when a black boy is defending himself, he still gets sent away for murder? And even when so, this case has really brought a lot of this oppositional defiance disorder to light, and at some point they're going to get, we're seeing that they don't want to play by the rules anymore, and that there's a whole different set of rules out there. And I think that's what that's what we're seeing here, is that this kid can stab a boy in the heart, and their take on it is either somewhere between, well, that was self-defense, to, well, why shouldn't he be able to stab him in the heart? He put his hands on him.
Yeah, you touched me, so that's license to kill. In the black community, you touch me, that means I could kill you. It's like, okay, well, if that was the rules, we would, a lot of people would be eliminated pretty quickly. And that's so we have, there's this two tier, and this has been supported by, the two tier policing system, the two tier system that's been established with this civil rights uh, dominated culture, which everything is that comes down to the civil rights thing, and and they're emboldened by this wrong view of the world, and then when they lean in on it, it doesn't work the way they were told, and now they're complaining. I say I understand, I get it. Like they've been told two different things, like, and then when it doesn't work out the way they were told, then they get upset. I get that.
Yes, yes, because on the one hand, there's this society that says there's laws and you have to follow the rules, and if you don't, you get smacked down. But then there's another segment that says that's okay, not you. It's this, no, we're giving you a pass for now. You
Right.
can, it's okay. You
And
can
these
do what.
worlds are colliding with Carmelo Anthony type events.
Yes, and I know you have theories that a lot of this is, manufactured collapse on design.
Mm, I think it's just they're taking ideas that got a mass public appeal back in the 60s, and they're playing them out all the way to the end, as far as they can go until the end, and it's causing issues, it's causing this collapse type scenarios, and they're just whistling past the grave, like, la 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 la, it's not happening, but it is happening. And they refuse to give up the power because the civil rights thing is like a big part of our the empire's what is this way of looking at things. It's their mandate. It's their core ideology, right? And it doesn't work. And they, instead of letting go of that power and letting all the power go away, with like equal rights administrations and all this civil rights stuff, instead of letting that go away with all the power and all the executives and all the, not executive, but all the bureaucrats are all have their institutions all around this stuff, are all going to go away with it. And that means that the empire has to give up power, and it's just not going to do that. It's going to take it all the way down. So it's not intentional. It's this unintentional consequences from going to these policies all the way out. They're just not real. They're not realistic. They don't really work. But they've got the power, and they've got the voting blocks behind it, and that's what's causing it. It's not intentionally causing it collapse, but they don't give a fuck. They're going to take it all the way down to the mat.
So
Go.
you don't you hold the view that the CIA purposefully promoted rap music with those type of lyrics
Oh
that,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I think there's factions, right? There's definitely factions inside this thing. They want to run their private prison institutions. So they're very racist on the inside. On the outside, they're saying, no, we support you, we do all sorts of stuff. But on the inside, they're super racist. It seems to be that's another thing that's going on here. Is got this two tier. We have the public face, but we have this internal thing that's a whole different thing. Like they're like the little pet class that they get to use as a voting block and as a cudgel as well, to scare white people and to scare other people, like, oh, they're gonna make, so they weaponize this group for political action and for their cronies and their buddies to have their private prisons, etc. Go ahead.
Well, no, that's a good point. And there is something to be said that if they have been weaponized, then damn, man, that's wrong. How do we pull them back from being weaponized and being abused and
I
being
don't know. I'm
being
asking
used
you.
against us too, and from decaying their own populace,
Right.
yeah, and we, because I want to have compassion. I want to have a Christian attitude
Yeah.
of my fellow man, and I don't want to be racist. I don't want to be thinking in the way that, oh, screw all blacks or anything like
Yeah.
that.
It's not about that.
But this oppositional defiance disorder issue is to me, I'm seeing it in where I live. I'm seeing it on my job. I'm seeing it like on Halloween this year. I do a big ass Halloween, you know. I decorate my house, I have costumes. Everybody in the neighborhood, I give out really good toys and prizes and candies. Dude, I get people coming from different parts of the city to come to my house, right? And I have sound and I have effects and fog machines and lighting and all, you know. So I have these really great Halloween experiences with my community, most of whom, overwhelming majority of whom, are really, really great and appreciative. Because it's kind of in a little small country town, you know, people tell you, hey, thank you very much, sir. I had a cop and his wife and newborn baby come through and say, man, I gotta say, this is really scary. Wow, good job, well done, you know. But this year I had two really problem encounters with children, young boys, both of them black, and both of them expressed this oppositionally defiant, um, entitled attitude. Like I had some lighting effects, these cubes that light up and change colors. Hey, give me that cube. I want that cube. I'm gonna take this. No, no, you're not. He's reaching for it, and he's being super grabby. And I literally had to slap his hand away. I had another person there that he was trying to just snatch the candy out of her hand. I'm like, no, 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 no. And his parents were sitting in the car. He's like maybe 9 or 10, you know. And I'm like, you know, I didn't give him any candy. Like, you know, get out of here.
Wow.
Then it happened later with another little boy, almost the same exact thing. And I'm like, wow, you know, this is pattern recognition, man.
Yeah.
How are kids, teachers doing this at school? How are they dealing with this?
Well, if you look at the teaching, if there's a bunch of channels on YouTube that are about this whole thing, and they're exactly having the same experiences you're discussing right here. Not all, but it's become prevalent the last few years, especially after the Rona.
Yes, and there seems to be a cultural attitude that's being promulgated that says you don't have to take the shit. You're a victim. You're the victim of slavery. These people did it to you.
Right.
They are the slave traders.
Right.
They oppressed you. You can act out against them.
Right.
Do not, if one of them tells you that you're misbehaving, you just stand up and kick his fucking ass.
Right.
So
Right.
that brings Carmelo, you know, why was he under the tent? You're telling me that this kid apparently was an athlete. And so he knows what a tent at a track meet means.
Oh, they know. They know.
He
They're
knows
just not ignorant. They're not stupid. This is not
he
that.
knows if
That's
it
not the
belongs
issue.
to the other team. He's not supposed to be under that tent.
They
And
know. They know.
oh, I'm trying to get out of the rain. You could go under the bleachers. You could get wet. You could go to your own team's tent if oh, so he knows. Why is he there? Why is he under that tent in the
To
first place?
start shit. To
To
start
start shit,
trouble.
to steal shit, to flirt with a girl,
Right.
or you know, or say, oh, he's
No,
just
he was just wants to start shit. Did you see the pictures of him with holding the AKs and the fuck you and all that other stuff? Did you see those pictures of him? He was a bad kid. He was a bad
okay.
kid. And
So
he wanted trouble. He was looking for trouble.
let's do the shoe on the other foot test. Let's say that honky kid with a knife in his bag goes and sits under the tent of an all black high school at a track meet, and they tell him 15 times, get out of our tent.
Right.
What is going to happen to that kid?
He's gonna get beat up.
And Carmelo didn't get beat up. I want to talk. What was the other boy's name? The one who was murdered. I can't believe I don't know his name. His dad has been in the press recently. His
Yeah,
dad,
we know. We can look it up. It's fine. Everybody knows this case. Everyone knows this
yeah,
case.
his dad went to the press conference for the Carmelo Anthony family to pray with them and to heal and to come together, and they kicked him out. Well, what if he would have refused to leave like
Right.
Carmelo did?
Right.
What
Right.
if he
Right.
said, "Dab"? You know, this it just doesn't pass the shoe on the other foot test, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And these parents are grifters, and they're
Yeah, it's been horrible how they treated their child. Like that just indicates, okay, this is the kind of parents you had that was willing to take the money that was intended to go to a trial lawyer, and they put it into an Escalade in a house, and now he's got to get a public defender. What?
and they're getting a public defender. Oh my God! And they didn't
Uh,
even go to the sentencing or the victim statement part of
wow,
the trial.
wow.
They
And
let
the, and
their
the fact that the case was he just that case he didn't even they phoned it in. That guy just phoned it in. The lawyer. So they're obviously going to do a retrial, and they're going to get a public defender again.
what happens if the dad decides let's sue this family? I don't know if that's legal. I
He's
don't know.
not going to. He's not going to. He's been psyop by somebody else to think to go against his own family, goes against his own tribe. This is another thing that's happening
No, no, no,
too.
no. Saying the victim's father, what if he sues the Anthony family
That's
in civil court for
well,
damages?
he won't though. He's been hit. He's gone. Have you seen this Facebook post where he's talking about how Carmelo should be doing this and do that and the other thing to how to win the case and all this other stuff? It's
No, 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 no,
crazy.
no.
He's totally for the victim. He's totally for the assailants.
No, correction. He released a tape the other day in which he just says it outright. I am absolutely, I don't care what you people say. I'm just gonna say it. Watermelon felon. No, no,
Okay, so
no.
he switched. He switched his tune because he was talking about something else different than the ones I saw. So he's switching up his tune. I guess he's maybe got some sense in him.
Well, it looks to me, and he did a very long, because once the gag order was lifted, he was free to speak, and he's pissed. And he
Okay, that's
said,
new. I didn't see this.
father and the Anthony mother, you guys are horrible, racist parents. And what I don't understand is how does this go right? How does this go right for blacks? I don't understand. Like those little boys at Halloween, and they're taking this attitude out, and look what happens. They
They're
didn't get
they're
case.
you can see where it's gonna go. They're gonna keep doubling down until they hit a wall that's illegal, a lawful wall. It's either they're gonna start doing crimes. They think the crimes are okay. They're gonna get away with doing the crimes over and over, and then they escalate the crimes. They call this the ladder of violence. They're just gonna climb that ladder until someone knocks them off.
And you're seeing like these takeovers in urban areas
Yeah.
where they'll go out. Houston has had a couple of them. I
Oh
think
yeah. Yeah.
these things. So now this is I remember years ago a black friend uh and we're no longer friends because we had a falling out over these very topics.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, the black people gonna rise up, and you,
Yeah.
you white people gonna be sorry when we finally rise up."
No, I think it'll go the exact opposite.
I told him, I said, "Okay, well, there's 12 million of you, and there's a lot more of us,
It'll go very poorly for them.
and I hate to say it this way, but one of the problems I've seen is that white people seem to be afraid of black people as if they have some kind of physical superpower. I saw a video the other day of some cowering little white guy who's being assaulted by this black guy,
Right.
and he's not fighting back. Remember the Ukrainian girl in the subway
Right.
looking up over, just cowering over this
Yeah.
whole thing. Oh my God, as he's stabbing her,
Yep. Yeah,
and
I think it's just they don't want to be seen as racist. It's definitely been a psyop for this whole thing about not doing pattern matching. And doing pattern matching means you're a racist, and no one can be seen as being racist. It's like it's definitely a boomer thing. They really got bought into the whole civil rights era thing and being you're a bad person if you can match patterns or if you have some sense about you about the reality of the world of how things are. And not all, but there's like a big component of black culture
yeah,
that it
I,
feels
I,
like it's their right to do this now, and they've
I
been emboldened by the certain aspects, whether they're psyops themselves with the CIA or just a civil rights campaign that you've been downtrodden by specifically white people, not Jews, but white people, and and all white people that own slaves. That's not true. Like very very small number of people. It was really Jewish people that owned the slaves. Let's be real about it. And so yeah, so they've been psyops. So there's a combination, a conflagration of things that white people have been told that being matching patterns is considered racist, and that's the worst thing you could possibly be. So they're it's a conflagration of things, right? Go ahead.
I think also though, white people are suffering from an inferiority complex, and they think that I'm no match physically
Right,
for a black person in a fight, that they're better athletes, that they have
right,
a superior rage,
right.
that there's no way I can match the physicality and the anger of a black person.
Right.
Better if I just cower and
Right.
hope for the best
Right. It,
and accept my beating.
right. Right.
What I would like to say to people, I saw a video the other day. I posted it. This big black dude with the lady weaves. They all have the lady weaves now. He comes into, breaks into, kicks the door into a hotel and starts demanding, demanding, demanding. I don't know. They probably had kicked him out, you know.
Yeah.
And long and short of it is, there's this cop about a foot shorter than the guy, has about a foot shorter reach than this guy. And this cop is trying to grab the guy's arm and put cuffs on him, saying, "You're under arrest, you're under arrest." I ain't under arrest. You and his cop, the black dude's getting in this cop's face. This little bitty cop palm strikes this black dude in the face. It stuns the black group. He body slams the dude
I
on.
saw that video.
Yeah, gets on top of him, knee on the back of the neck, grabs a horseshoes right in the middle of wrapping this guy up. Horseshoes, twists his arm, has this guy subdued like a pretzel in about fucking 10 seconds.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
I this may sound like a racist comment I'm preparing to say, so be it. But white people ruled the world as a numerical minority.
Yeah.
And we did this because we're super smart.
Yep.
We're super innovative. We're creative and imaginative. We're aggressive. And we have always fought like demons.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes when that flip that switch gets flipped eventually. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I feel like we have it in us. And here's another thing. Not only did we do that, all that, we transformed the world into the egalitarian
Right.
place it is now.
Yeah, we
We
have a strong sense of fairness. We want things to be fair.
absolutely, and we gave these benefits to all the peoples of the world and are still doing it. And now we are having this liberalism weaponized against us
Right.
in the name of liberalism.
Right. Right.
And we cannot allow that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we cannot allow our sense of fair play to be used against us in
Yeah.
order to get rid of the very system that allows for fair play.
Right.
And it was in fact the British Navy that ended slavery by
Correct.
stamping it out on the high
At a
seas.
great expense.
And again, I've said it before. I mean, they always accuse us of being slave traders, but you know, before Homo sapien evolved low melanin and light colored skin, black Africans were already perfecting oppression.
Right.
And
We were all enslaving each other for a long time.
we
It's
were
part of the
all
human thing. I think it was the second oldest profession.
Homo sapien is a violent ape. I choose to try to look at it through an evolutionary lens.
Yeah.
Is Homo sapien is a violent ape,
I
and
mean,
if we start,
we have that ability. Yes.
and if we want to start splitting hairs here, and they're going to say, "We ain't never going to take it again from you people been mistreating everybody on the planet." Hey, man, we didn't invent this shit. Everybody did it for a while. You people were the first to do it. You're still doing it right now in Mother Africa. We haven't been doing it for over 200 years.
Right. They're
Yeah,
still doing it. They're still doing it.
if you don't like it, you can go back there and see how they are still doing it. I guarantee you, you will like it better here.
Yeah.
But feel free to go check it out if
Yeah.
you like. And there are people calling for that we need to withdraw
Yeah.
black, and we need to withdraw our talents, we need to withdraw our culture and not give them the benefit of it. And I just got to say, have at it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do your best, brother. You know, I'm really of the Scott Adams school at this point. I think that if you're near this kind of stuff, you need to get away from it because it's not going to turn out well. You know, I have
No.
a buddy who lives in New York City, the most liberal dude you've ever met.
Yeah.
Liberal, liberal, liberal. Well, he was telling me about how he got attacked and punched on the street by just some random dude. And I'm
Yep.
like, let me guess who it was who did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah. So it's what do they call it? A suicidal empathy. So we're convinced, like, so because we came through this genetic filter as white people, that we're trying to work these things out before we kill each other. Because we've had tremendous amounts of wars and upheavals. Entire civilizations have been wiped out. So the ones that survived it were like, can we work this out? Maybe we can work this out by talking about it instead of fighting about it. So we have this inner side of us because we're the through the progenitors of that. We were the ones that survived that stuff. So we want to work things out peaceably. And some of the cultures here haven't had that filter, and they want to work things out with violence or trying to trick or trying to trick us or trying to find loopholes or something like that. So I think we're going to have to see this all play out, and different regions of the world. We're going to have bear witness to these things playing out. I don't think it can be stopped. I think we have to go all the way through. We just have to go through this crap. Like Evola talks about this. Julius Evola talks about we're gonna have to. There's no stopping this progress. It's gonna be grinding it out and trying to shield yourself from it as we go through it.
Yeah, because like anything on the internet, you see this stuff and it seems so shocking. Then you look around your own community and you're like, well, I'm not really seeing mass riots and takeovers. And, well, then, well, Houston, they're having some issues. But then I think about it. I'm like, well, on Halloween,
It
I
happened right in your front yard
right there in my front yard,
twice.
I was at work and I got attacked by, a guy. I think I told that story too, where it's just like, hey man, get out of my shop, dude. I want you vaping weed in my shop anymore. Get out of my shop. You're not in this department. Dude attacked me. I squirt him in the face with a hose. Attacks me again. Squirt him in the face with a hose. Third time I was ready. I was ready for the serious throwdown, and he saw me and he ran away. But
Yeah.
so that's what I'm curious is like, where do they think this is headed? Because in
They
rage,
think that they can use their force to push most because most people are backing down. They'd rather give up than fight this than fight right now. So that's a white response too. Because when in the past when we throw down, we throw the fuck down. That means we're gonna wipe out your entire civilization. Like when it gets to that level, it's like we don't stop with just individuals. We wiped everybody out. And that's the reason why we don't want to go there, right? We don't want to go there because you push us to that point, we snap something snaps and we wipe out your whole your little subdivision gone. We don't go one after one. So we just everyone's gone. You look at how the Ireland's respond to some of this stuff over there. They're just like, we don't care who the hell you are. Now you've gone over the top. Now people are activated. Now they're pulling people out of migrant uh, housing districts. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. We don't
man,
care who you are. And that's the thing that we're trying to avoid, right? Because
at
it's
least
ugly.
they
Go
can
go ahead.
deport their troublemakers. At least they can deport them. We can't deport ours.
Right.
We're truly stuck with them.
Right. So they're
So
gonna.
it's like,
I believe it's just gonna get continuously. People are gonna test the boundaries until there's a moment like the Carmelo Anthony thing. People go, okay, there's something else going on here. There's this not just an individual thing. This is happening all throughout the culture. And a lot of it's not being reported, or it's being reported as white guys doing it when it's really black guys or Hispanics doing it. Or it's just white where they label as white, or they don't label at all. They throw away the statistic, right? So there's a lot of lying going on, but we're all gonna have to confront this. This is not going away. It's going to get worse. The empire is part of their religion. They're gonna double down on it like they do all and all the women are gonna double down on it. It's like, if we just be nice, it'll all go back to normal. It's like, no, we're gonna go through we're gonna go through a violent phase. There's no way around it. It's really sad. I don't like this. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this to happen. I'm just seeing the trends on this stuff, and it's getting more and more and more extreme. And people are gonna have snap, and it's gonna not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. There's gonna be a lot of laws that change. There's gonna be like a segregation type of thing happening, and people are gonna be just like how they got rid of the crime in New York City. They just did stop and frisk, and it's racist as hell, whatever you want to call it. But it's called pattern matching, and it's called people take it too far. Go ahead.
well, speaking of the women, because often it is the liberal women who have the carry the water for these liberal responses to these issues. And what I would advise people to do is don't be a victim.
Right,
Stand up for yourself, regardless of the race of your attacker. If
right,
you're your own business, I don't care if it's a white dude, black dude. I don't care.
yeah,
stand up for yourself. And I'm going to say this to all the white people, though, who feel like, oh, well, what am I going to do here? You're going to stand up for yourself, and you're going to marshal your and take a self-defense course, and you learn how to use weapons, and don't take any shit. And they're not going to speak. Logic isn't going to work. They go off. They've been trained to go off and go right to crazy right away. Right away, just be as crazy as you can. And the best thing to do is just not be around it. That's why I say Scott Adams. However, you got to be wise. And I remember when this guy attacked me at work. I mean, it was caught on video. And I noticed after that all the other female managers, I was a maintenance manager, all the other female managers stopped talking to me. And this one lady came up to me and she goes, "You know what? When I first heard you squirted a hose in that dude's face, I thought, oh my God, how horrible, like a dog." But then I saw the video and I realized, oh, totally justified when I saw the video of a guy attacking you.
So so there's this thing,
I was
narrative.
attacked. I was the
Yeah,
victim.
so
What?
the narrative they've heard is that blacks are oppressed, and women and men are white straight men are the ones that are oppressing you. So you're in the white straight men category. So you're automatically, there's a narrative. So narrative beats argumentation every time. So that's the thing. That's like they want to hold the narrative. They want to get the narrative, because if they got the narrative, these arguments like, hey, there's something else going on, they just don't even listen. It's like, nope, you're a white straight male, so your opinion doesn't count. Like that's another narrative. So narrative trumps argument, and that's why these cultural warriors and these people in power right now, they got to make sure this narrative that it's white straight men that are the problem, and that if we can push them down further and keep them down, keep them under control, everything else will have a utopia, and that's just not the case, and we're gonna have to see this play all the way out.
It's like a mugger thinking that he can somehow or another have a normal life. It's like, how are you going to brutalize people into a good life for
Right.
yourself? I don't know what's the plan here. That's why I keep thinking about the black lady in calculus class. It's like, well, I've done everything right and I'm still not succeeding. No offense, but you haven't done everything right. You made a mistake somewhere. Go back and look at what you've done. And if you look at it objectively, you will find a mistake.
But the narrative that she's had from the cultural warriors is that, no, she's been oppressed, she's been put upon, she's whatever. It's like, not the rules have been, she's not following the rules properly, because if she did, people don't white people are super into that. Like if you follow the rules, they will give you all kinds of breaks. Like they seriously will. But if you think you can skirt around the rules, you have another narrative that says the rules didn't count, or there's another set of rules against me, yeah, they're gonna follow that. And but we're coming up on 30 minutes here, 32 minutes. Do you have, I want to try and keep these shows about a half an hour. Do you have any like closing comments you'd like to make about the
Got
situation?
to it. I have my little list here, and we got to most of the topics that I wanted. I guess what I would like to close with is absolutely aware this is not all black people I'm talking about here. It's not all black people. I was in Walmart the other day, and there was this really nice black lady
Yeah.
put in her cart. We had a really nice conversation.
Yeah.
I want to see individuals, and I will see individuals. But I'm noticing dangerous trends. I'm seeing it in my own interactions. I'm seeing it in life. I'm seeing it in the media. And I don't see where these things work out for anyone, particularly blacks. And because I care about my fellow man, I'm a Christian. I love God's children, and I love black people too. I don't want them to fall prey to these ideologies, which are going to lead them astray. It's going to lead them to jail. It's going to lead them to segregation, where people are going to not want to be around them. We are all big fans of black people and their contributions to
Yeah,
our
for
culture.
sure. For sure.
And it's not all black. They say 6% of the population committing 50% of the violent crime, but it's not 6%. Of black males, who are 6%, there's a very small percentage who are actually committing the violent crime. And it probably breaks down in similar percentages to other ethnicities and their criminality percentage, maybe it's higher. It probably is higher in the black community, probably, because in most communities, like in intra-ethnic murder, white people kill the most whites,
Right.
blacks kill the most
Well, it's all
black.
the per capita stuff, so it's just this all about this is like it's talking about per capita. So the rates
However,
are higher for blacks and
absolutely,
Hispanics than the white people. That's just
black
the facts.
though in violence. In other words, who kills the second most white people? Blacks. Who kills the second most at Hispanics?
Right.
Black.
Right.
They kill the most Asians outright.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is a problem there, and it's an aspect of their community that they're going to have the honesty amongst themselves to handle it. Just like when an individual has a problem, until he's willing to be honest with himself about the shape of the problem and that he's the cause and the solution. But I don't see that overall in culture, to where there are some people out there saying, hey man, we got to wake up. Look, this was murder. This kid murdered someone in cold blood. That white kid didn't. I will say this though, maybe this is my closing statement. This The victim was 6'1", 220, big star athlete. They've been arguing with this kid for a while. This kid, Anthony, was 5'8", 140 or 50 pounds, and he was able to pull that knife out and stab it in that kid's heart. What I'm saying to you is, don't be a victim like that other kid was. Expect the shit. If you aren't expecting it at this point from that angry black person, you should be.
Yeah. 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 It's a big issue now, and it's probably going to get worse for a little while.
Yep.
Well, anyway, thank you, Tony. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
I want to close out the show, and I appreciate it. We'll talk again very soon. Okay.
Okay.